If you've ever wondered why a single quiet moment can change everything between two people, stay with me. There's a subtle signal many men miss, and by the end of this conversation, you'll understand why it matters more than confidence, charm, or words. If this kind of honest psychology helps you grow, take a second to like the video and subscribe. Not for me, but for the man you're becoming. I want to begin by gently correcting a common misunderstanding. Attraction is not a switch that flips when you say the right line or make the right move. For most women, attraction unfolds through safety, trust, and emotional presence long before anything physical ever carries meaning. Men are rarely taught this. You're taught to chase signals, not to understand them. When a woman allows you into her personal space, when she feels comfortable with closeness, with shared silence, with a natural ease, that is not about dominance or winning. It's about permission, psychological permission, and that permission is never accidental. Human beings have invisible boundaries. We all do. Some are physical, but most are emotional. When those boundaries soften, it means the nervous system feels safe. It means her mind is no longer scanning for threats or evaluating your intentions. It means she feels seen without being examined, valued without being rushed. Many men mistake speed for success. They think progress is measured by how fast things move. In reality, the deepest attraction often grows in moments that feel almost ordinary, sitting close without tension, light touch that feels natural and unforced, laughter that doesn't require performance. These moments communicate something powerful. I trust you here. Trust is the foundation that makes desire possible. Without it, desire becomes fragile, inconsistent, or short lived. With it, attraction becomes steady and grounded. This is why some men seem effortlessly magnetic without trying to impress. They are regulated, present, respectful of boundaries, and because of that, women relax around them. Relaxation is underrated. A relaxed woman is not calculating. She's not guarding, she's responding. And response is where connection lives. This is also where many men unknowingly sabotage themselves. They lean forward emotionally before trust is built. They push for reassurance. They interpret hesitation as rejection instead of information. But hesitation often means, I'm still deciding if this space is safe. When you understand this, your behavior naturally changes. You slow down, not out of fear, but out of confidence. You listen with your body, not just your ears. You notice whether closeness feels mutual or forced. And when it's mutual, you don't need to escalate. The connection deepens on its own. Here's the truth most men were never told. When a woman feels safe enough to invite you closer in any form, it's not because you took something. It's because you earned trust through consistency, emotional control, and respect. And that trust, once established, becomes the quiet force that carries everything forward. There is a part of attraction that has nothing to do with technique and everything to do with emotional regulation. Most men underestimate this because it's invisible. You can't measure it. You can only feel it in how another person responds to your presence. A woman doesn't open her personal space because a man wants it. She does it because being near him lowers her internal tension. Her shoulders soften. Her breathing slows. Her mind stops preparing defenses. This is not romance in the movie sense. It's biology and psychology working together. When a man is emotionally steady, his nervous system communicates calm, and calm is contagious, especially in a world where many women are constantly alert, constantly evaluating risk, constantly managing emotional labor. A man who brings calm stands out immediately, even if he says very little. This is why attraction often grows in silence rather than conversation. Silence reveals whether someone is comfortable being fully present without needing control. If a woman can sit near you without feeling the need to fill space, explain herself, or impress you, that's a strong psychological signal. It means she feels accepted as she is in that moment. Many men think attraction is about creating excitement. In reality, excitement without safety creates anxiety. Safety without pressure creates desire. Pressure is subtle. It shows up as expectation, as leaning forward emotionally, as waiting for validation. When a man needs a reaction, a woman feels it instantly, and the body responds by pulling back, even if she likes him. But when a man is grounded, he doesn't seek permission or reassurance. He allows connection to unfold. He responds instead of pushing. And this makes the interaction feel mutual rather than transactional. Mutuality is crucial. Attraction deepens when a woman feels she is choosing closeness, not being guided toward it. Choice activates desire. Pressure shuts it down. This is why respect is not passive. It's active awareness. Respect is noticing when closeness increases naturally and when it doesn't, and honoring both without ego. Ironically, this restraint often increases attraction because it communicates emotional maturity. Emotionally mature men are rare, not because they are perfect, but because they are self contained. They don't rush intimacy to soothe insecurity. They don't interpret every boundary as rejection. They understand that comfort is a process, not a prize. And when a woman experiences that level of emotional safety, her responses become more genuine, more expressive, more relaxed. Connection stops feeling like something she has to manage. Here's an important insight. A woman opening her personal space is not a reward. It's feedback. It tells you that what you're doing emotionally is working. It's an invitation to continue being exactly as you are, calm, present, and respectful. When you learn to read connection this way, you stop chasing outcomes. You start building experiences. And experiences, not strategies, are what create lasting attraction. One of the most misunderstood dynamics in male female connection is the difference between intensity and intimacy. Intensity feels powerful in the moment, but intimacy is what creates emotional memory. And emotional memory is what lingers when you're not there. Intimacy begins when a woman feels emotionally unobserved. That may sound strange, but let me explain. Many women feel constantly watched, evaluated, or interpreted. When a man interacts with her without trying to extract meaning or progress, her nervous system relaxes. She feels free to exist instead of perform. This is where closeness gains psychological weight. Not because of what happens, but because of how it feels. The body remembers safety. The mind remembers ease. And these memories quietly shape attraction long after the interaction ends. Men often believe attraction is built through escalation. But escalation without emotional grounding creates resistance. Emotional grounding is what allows closeness to feel natural rather than risky. A grounded man is not emotionally distant. He is emotionally stable. He can tolerate ambiguity without becoming anxious. He doesn't rush clarity. He allows uncertainty to exist without trying to control it. This tolerance is deeply attractive because it signals strength without force. It tells her, you don't need to decide anything right now. You're safe to feel what you feel. When a woman senses that freedom, her curiosity increases, her emotional openness expands, and over time, closeness becomes something she moves toward, not something she guards against. Another key element here is attunement. Attunement means noticing subtle shifts, tone of voice, energy, posture, without overreacting. It's the difference between awareness and analysis. Awareness is calm, analysis is anxious. Women are highly sensitive to this distinction. When a man overanalyzes, she feels pressure. When he is simply aware, she feels understood. Understanding doesn't come from asking the right questions. It comes from being emotionally present enough to notice what doesn't need to be said. This presence communicates respect, not the surface level kind, but deep respect for autonomy. And autonomy is closely linked to desire. When a woman feels her autonomy is intact, her attraction remains alive. Here's something important. True intimacy does not feel like urgency. It feels like permission. Permission to slow down. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to connect without fear of expectation. Many men fear that slowing down will make them less attractive. In reality, it often does the opposite. Slowness communicates confidence. It says, I'm not afraid of losing you by being myself. and that confidence allows intimacy to deepen at its own pace, organically, quietly, and powerfully. Attraction often deepens not through what you do, but through what you don't do. This is difficult for many men to accept because effort feels productive. But in emotional dynamics, restraint is often more impactful than action. Restraint is not withdrawal, it is self trust. It's the ability to remain present without needing to steer the moment. When a woman senses that you're not trying to shape her feelings, she feels free to experience them honestly. This freedom is rare, and rarity increases value. A woman's comfort grows when her internal sense of agency remains intact. Agency means she feels in control of her own pace, her own responses, her own boundaries. When a man respects that without commentary or frustration, it sends a powerful psychological message. I see you as a whole person, not an outcome. That message creates emotional safety, and emotional safety is the soil where attraction grows roots. This is why emotional consistency matters more than emotional intensity. Intensity can be exciting, but it's unstable. Consistency builds trust because it reduces uncertainty. A woman knows what to expect from you emotionally. She knows your presence will not fluctuate based on her reactions. Many women have experienced emotional unpredictability, attention that increases and disappears, warmth that turns into pressure, interest that becomes entitlement. When you show up calmly and predictably, you separate yourself from that pattern. Predictability does not mean boring, it means regulated. It means your emotional state is not dependent on hers, and that independence is deeply grounding. Another important element is patience without agenda. Agenda creates pressure. Pressure triggers self protection. But patience allows curiosity to unfold naturally. Curiosity is often mistaken for attraction itself. In truth, curiosity is the doorway. When a woman becomes curious about how she feels around you, attraction has space to develop. If you rush past curiosity into expectation, the doorway closes. Here's where many men misinterpret signals. They assume closeness means obligation. It doesn't. Closeness is communication, not commitment. When you treat it as information rather than ownership, you maintain trust. Trust is fragile in early stages. It grows when actions align with restraint. When you don't overinterpret, overreact, or overclaim. A psychologically safe man understands that connection is not something you seize, it's something you allow. And paradoxically, the more you allow, the more naturally attraction deepens because it's chosen, not extracted. This mindset shift changes everything. You stop chasing moments and start creating emotional environments. And in the right environment, closeness doesn't feel risky. It feels right. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you don't need to prove anything. This confidence is not loud, not performative, and not dependent on outcomes. It's internal, and it's one of the most stabilizing forces in any connection. When a woman senses this confidence, her nervous system responds with relief. She no longer feels responsible for managing your emotions or guiding the interaction. That responsibility is heavy, and when it's lifted, attraction has room to breathe. Many men believe leadership in connection means taking charge. In reality, emotional leadership often means self regulation. It means you can hold your own emotions without asking someone else to soothe them. This ability creates a subtle sense of safety, not because you are controlling, but because you are contained. A contained man does not leak anxiety into the interaction. He doesn't seek constant feedback. He doesn't require reassurance to stay present. This is especially important during moments of closeness. Closeness amplifies emotional signals. If a man is internally tense, that tension becomes visible. If he is calm, that calm becomes shared. Shared calm is one of the most underestimated aspects of attraction. It allows moments to linger without discomfort. It creates space for warmth without urgency. And it deepens connection without words. Another factor that strengthens attraction is emotional honesty without emotional burden. This means you can express interest or appreciation without making it the other person's responsibility to respond in a specific way. When honesty comes without expectation, it feels safe. When it comes with pressure, It feels heavy. Many men confuse vulnerability with emotional exposure. Vulnerability is not unloading fears or insecurities too early. It's the courage to be authentic while remaining self supportive. A woman feels closer to a man who can say, I enjoy being here, without needing validation in return. That statement stands on its own. It doesn't ask for anything, it simply offers truth. Offering without asking creates trust. Over time, this trust becomes emotional grounding. She knows she can move closer without being pulled into emotional labor. She knows she can take space without punishment. And because of that, closeness feels safe instead of risky. Here's a key insight. Attraction strengthens when a woman feels free to choose you repeatedly, not obligated to maintain connection. Freedom fuels desire, obligation extinguishes it. When you embody this quiet confidence, you stop measuring progress. You stop interpreting every moment as a test. You become present. And presence is what transforms simple moments into meaningful connection. As connection deepens, something subtle but important happens. A woman begins to associate your presence with a specific emotional state. This association forms quietly, often without conscious thought, and it's one of the strongest predictors of lasting attraction. People don't remember every word you say, they remember how their body felt around you, whether they felt relaxed or tense, seen or evaluated, free or pressured. This is why emotional atmosphere matters more than strategy. An atmosphere of ease tells her nervous system, I can be myself here. And that message is powerful. Many men try to create attraction through novelty or excitement. While those elements can spark interest, they don't sustain it. Sustainability comes from emotional reliability, from knowing that being near you feels consistently good. Consistency does not mean sameness, it means emotional coherence. Your reactions make sense, your energy is steady, your interest is clear but not consuming. When a woman feels this coherence, she begins to trust the connection more deeply. Trust allows her to relax into closeness without guarding her autonomy. This is where attraction matures. It shifts from curiosity to comfort, from excitement to attachment, not dependency, but secure attachment. Secure attachment feels calm. It doesn't rush, it doesn't cling. It grows through mutual respect and emotional availability. A man who fosters secure attachment does so by being emotionally accessible without being emotionally needy. He is open but not dependent, present but not demanding. This balance is rare because it requires inner stability. It requires knowing that your worth is not determined by another person's reactions. When you hold this inner stability, you give the other person permission to relax, and relaxation is fertile ground for emotional bonding. Another important aspect here is emotional patience during uncertainty. Relationships are full of moments where clarity is absent. A man who can stay grounded during these moments communicates strength. Strength in this context is not force, it's steadiness. It's the ability to remain kind and consistent without needing immediate resolution. This steadiness creates a sense of emotional safety that extends beyond the moment. It becomes a pattern, and patterns shape attachment. Here's what many men don't realize. Attraction deepens when a woman feels she can trust you with her emotional experience, not just your intentions. Intentions are easy to express. Emotional reliability is shown over time. When you embody this reliability, you become someone she feels safe moving toward, not because she needs you, but because being with you feels right. And that feeling, once established, is incredibly powerful. Section 7. By now, you may notice that nothing I've shared is about tricks, tactics, or shortcuts. That's intentional. Real connection is not engineered, it's cultivated. And cultivation requires patience, self awareness, and emotional maturity. The moment a woman feels safe enough to welcome closeness in any form, it's not a finish line, it's a reflection. It reflects how you made her feel emotionally, not what you managed to achieve. Many men miss this because they're taught to focus on outcomes. But attraction is not an outcome, it's a process. And processes respond to consistency, not pressure. When you stop viewing connection as something to win, your energy shifts. You become less reactive. more grounded, less focused on interpretation, and more focused on presence. Presence is what allows intimacy to deepen naturally. It's what transforms simple moments into meaningful ones. And it's what makes a woman feel she can trust not just your interest, but your character. Character is revealed in how you handle closeness. Do you remain respectful when boundaries appear? Do you stay calm when things slow down? Do you maintain self respect without withdrawing emotionally? These moments matter more than grand gestures. They communicate who you are beneath the surface. A woman who experiences this level of emotional safety begins to associate you with stability, not predictability in a dull sense, but reliability in an emotional one. She knows where she stands with you, and that clarity reduces anxiety. Reduced anxiety increases attraction. It allows desire to exist without fear. It allows connection to deepen without resistance. Here's the deeper truth. When a woman feels safe choosing you, she feels empowered, not controlled. An empowered attraction is the most authentic kind. This is why the most magnetic men are not those who chase connection, but those who are capable of holding it. Holding connection means you don't collapse under closeness or pull away from it. You stay centered, you stay kind, you stay emotionally responsible for yourself. And in doing so, you create an environment where attraction doesn't need to be forced. It unfolds naturally, at its own pace. If you take nothing else from this, remember this. Lasting attraction grows where respect, emotional safety, and presence intersect. That intersection is quiet, but it's powerful. If this perspective helped you see connection differently, support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. And more importantly, carry this understanding with you. Because the way you make someone feel will always matter more than what you try to take from the moment. Attraction doesn't deepen because you push for it. It deepens because you create a space where it feels safe to exist. When a woman feels calm, unpressured, and respected around you, her body responds before her mind ever explains it. Presence matters more than performance. You don't need to impress. You need to be steady. Emotional steadiness communicates confidence without words, and that confidence allows closeness to feel natural rather than risky. If this perspective resonates, support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. It helps this kind of honest, grounded psychology reach more men who need it.